just to numb my anxiety and the feeling of utter uselessness. My expectations went up in flames. Not 5 hours a night. Stress starts a vicious cycle. I want to be honest about something I am deeply ashamed to admit. In the first weeks of my son's life, I was so profoundly sleep deprived that I started having a lot of problems controlling my own emotions. I started to forget and lose my focus. I would walk into the room and forget why I was there. My memory was totally shut. But worse, so much worse, is that I would look at this tiny little baby, innocent baby, and I would feel this surge of anger, pure anger. And with that anger came the thoughts, the ones I'm really ashamed of. Was this a mistake? Have I ruined my life? And the escaping feelings that I have to get out of this situation. I love my son more than life itself, but I need to be honest that the first 3 months of fatherhood completely broke me. If you are a new dad or expecting dad and you have the terrifying feeling that you are failing, this video is for you, because I was right in there with you in the trenches. My son was born in October. The moment he arrived, it was pure magic. I remember holding him for the first time, this tiny person, and I really needed someone to pinch me because I couldn't believe I was finally a father. I spent 9 months preparing. I read books, I watched a lot of videos, I moved us to a new place, and I was organizing stuff, and I really thought that I was ready. But the second we walked through the door of our home back from the hospital, my expectations went up in flames. I realized that I knew absolutely nothing. So all the videos, books in the world can't teach you the visceral, bone deep exhaustion of a baby who simply will not sleep. For the first week, I thought I got maybe 5 hours sleep total. Not 5 hours a night. 5 hours spread across 7 days. It's form of a torture, and it fundamentally changes who you are. Sleep deprivation doesn't just make you tired. It makes you a stranger to yourself. Because I'm not the type of a person who get easily angered. So the sleep deprivation really changed me. When you are tired, your brain ceases to function rationally. The world loses its color and the stress starts a vicious cycle. I was tired and overwhelmed, so I started medicating myself with anything that offered a moment of relief. I was ordering a lot of pizza, a lot of junk food. I was eating family-sized bags of candy and drinking a few beers here and there just to numb my anxiety and the feeling of utter uselessness. But the sugar highs and the alcohol just kept making things worse. It caused a lot of crashes, a lot of mood swings, and it really shortened my temper. It felt like I was angry all the time. And the hardest part that shattered my heart into a million pieces, the rejection. Every single time I tried to hold my son, he would arch his back and scream. He would scream as if he was in pain. The moment I handed him back to my wife, he would instantly calm down and fall asleep in her arms. I felt like a stranger in my own family, like a third wheel. I wasn't just feeling, it was a deep, painful belief that my own baby hated me, that I was doing something wrong, that I was worthless to him. So I started to retreat. I would hide into my office for hours pretending to work, just to avoid the screaming. and the gut-wrenching feeling of being rejected by my own son. It was profound isolation. I hit a point where I knew I was spiraling towards serious depression. The dark thoughts were becoming more frequent. I had to do something. I had to take control of the only thing I could, myself. The first thing I fixed was my own biology. I knew that the junk food and the beer were just fuel on the fire. I stopped it all cold turkey. I remember once that I used to lose weight with the ketogenic diet, so I went back to the ketogenic diet and maybe more carnivore way of eating. This wasn't about losing weight now. It was a desperate attempt to fix my brain chemistry, and the effect was staggering. Within single week of cutting out carbs and sugar, my blood sugar stabilized. The constant simmering anger just evaporated, and the fog in my brain lifted. And the most incredible thing happened. When I became calm, the baby became calm. When I held him, they really can sense your stress. It's not just saying, it really is so. The second thing I did, I tackled my mindset. I used to practice meditation, so I had to meditate on very difficult truths. For this season of life, I'm not the main character. My son spent 9 months inside his mother, so her voice, her heartbeat, her smell, that is his entire world. He relies on her for food and comfort. So of course he prefers her. My jealousy was rooted in my own ego. I stopped trying to force a bond and refrained my role. My job wasn't to be his favorite. My job was to be the guardian of the mother. My mission was to support her, protect her, and make her life as easy as possible, so she could pour all her energy into supporting our baby. So once I accepted that I was a support system, the feeling of rejection was replaced by a sense of purpose. So if I can give you a practical tip that was an absolute game changer for me, a high quality noise cancelling headphones. It sounds awful, I know, to want to block out your baby's cries. But when baby is screaming for hours, your nervous system goes into a fight or flight response. Your heart rate spikes, your adrenaline pumps, so putting on the headphones didn't mean I was ignoring him. It meant I could hold him, rock him, and be present with him for hours without my own internal system overloading with the stress and the anger. It allowed me to be more calm presence for him. If you're watching this, you're in the middle of those sleepless nights. If you're having those dark thoughts, please hear me. It is just a season, a phase. It feels endless, but it passes. You're not the bad father for feeling overwhelmed, angry, or full of doubt. You're just being human. So my son Emil is 4 months old now, and everything is starting to look better. The baby is sleeping longer, and he's laughing with me and starting to be more playful. So trust me, it's going to get better with time. The most important thing that you can do is be present, and especially forgive yourself. It gets better, I promise. So if you have been through this, share your experience in the comments. What was the hardest part for you? Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content about my fatherhood journey and some tips and tricks that I figure out on the way.